All right, so I'm here with Eli Halleck. He is the sports med coach at St. Francis High School, and we're going to do an interview to ask him about his career. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Eli Halleck. I'm the director of sports medicine here at St. Francis High School. I'm in my 20th year here as the head athletic trainer and director of sports medicine. I have a bachelor's degree in technically physical education with an emphasis of athletic training. Since I graduated, they have all changed that to pure athletic training majors. It wasn't like that when I was in college. I have a master's degree in education. I am in charge of all healthcare on campus here at St. Francis High School, and I also teach sports medicine at the high school.
All right. So can you tell us what kinesiology in sports medicine is?
Well, kinesiology technically is the study of human movement, which nowadays really breaks down into specific disciplines. Kinesiology in the past used to be kind of a catchphrase, kind of like business, for a little bit of everything, and then you would go and find your specific profession. Here at St. Francis, we call it kinesiology because that's what we named the class, the study of human movement, but really the course we teach and what I do is sports medicine. It's a combination of orthopedics, emergency medicine, rehabilitation, evaluations, and assessments of activity-related injuries, athletics, sports, or anybody that's active. As an athletic trainer, we are educated on how to do healthcare to an active individual. And that's what I disseminate information to our students in the class with a UC-approved lab science course in the field of sports medicine.
All right. So how did you start with sports medicine?
Actually, in high school. I played sports. I started playing sports when I was 5, and I would play year-round something. Never the same sport year-round, but constantly. Football, flag football, baseball, basketball, soccer, volleyball, you name it, I would try it. And because I did so much, I was always getting dinged up and little injuries here and there. And from an early age, I just kind of figured out how to fix it. And I realized I kind of had a knack on how to fix these injuries, not knowing what I was doing. In high school, I went to Bishop Alamany High School in Mission Hills, and they had a human anatomy course that really interested me. I took it, and Dr. Franklin, who was the teacher, would have keynote speakers come in and talk to the class. One of the speakers they had come in was a physical therapist specializing in sports medicine. And he talked about how he took care of athletes and how he got paid for it. And I sat there and I listened to Mr. Thomas and went, wait a minute, that's what I do to myself. I can get paid for that? Interesting. So, and literally that was my thought process, because I was having so much fun in this anatomy class. When I found out I could mesh together both sports and anatomy and something I was good at, I realized healthcare, it was a slam dunk. This is what I wanted to do.
All right. So you already talked about what majors you had in college and what education you had, but can you tell us about continuing education and what that's like?
Continuing education is actually a good thing in our profession. You go back 50, 60 years for issues in dehydration, they would make you take salt pills. Today we know it's not just sodium, it's potassium, it's magnesium, it's calcium. There's so many other things going on. So it's very important for us as clinicians to keep up with new current trends, current information, or updated information. So that's the big key with continuing education. We have to do, over the course of 2 years, 50 units. And in those 50 units, they have to be in selected fields, including what we call evidence-based practices, proving that we are maintaining knowledge in the field of healthcare or in a related area, like administrative techniques for healthcare or what have you. It's important because if we don't stay up to date, we'll kind of go the way of the dinosaur and not be really good at clinical applications in healthcare.
So a few more questions here. What are the pros and cons of being a sports med technician?
An athletic trainer?
Yeah.
A sports medicine athletic trainer. Some of the pros, we're around sports. You have to love sports. You have to love athletics. You have to like being in an active environment. Um, it's fun working at a high school. My wife has said this many times. I'm immature, and it fits my attitude. It fits my personality. I can stay young. I can be around sports. I can be around athletics. And enjoy watching the students you've watched grown up. Some of them since they were 6 or 7, all the way through high school, compete and excel sometimes. And it's fun watching them grow up. It's like extended family. The negative is the hours. I mean, we've got days where we're here at 6 a.m. and we're not out of here till midnight. And in our profession, that's almost, in some ways, a detriment, because you get a lot of burnout, and a lot of people will quit the profession because of the hours. They haven't learned the word no. We're clinicians, we're healthcare professionals. The profession has moved to a master's degree as a mandatory clinical experience, or mandatory clinical education. So we are quite often some of the highest educated individuals on the field taking care of healthcare, yet we're at the whims of an offsite coach that just decided, hey, I want to have practice to make my guys run for 30 minutes because they were bad yesterday. And finding a balance of work and life sometimes is very difficult. And that's the biggest con, is balancing life. So it's just like any healthcare profession. It's a calling. It has to be something you love to do. It has to be something that's part of you. Otherwise, it'll eat you up.
Well, I think that's it for our questions. Thank you for your time.
You bet.